My house has somewhat of an unusual structure to it. Between the lounge room and the two bedrooms is a small hallway. However, this hallway is not just one straight path, it's a zigzag, with a turn right at the end, which leads to nothing but a tiny room for the bathroom. Even if you come up the hallway from the kitchen, you still have to take that little tiny turn into a little dead-end room. And if my child's mind was scared of one thing more than the dark, it was that little blind turn. Even before the incident, my mind would race about all the things that could be there. As I got closer and closer to the end of the hallway, to piss in the middle of the night, the light not reaching far enough to illuminate that dark corner, I would slow down more and more. All the muscles in my body would tense up as I turned the corner to open the bathroom door and see that it was clear again. My body would relax a little, but even so, as soon as my back was to that little room, I'd almost sprint back to the main part of the hallway, as if my own dread were chasing me. Now, one could easily pass this off as a little boy's imagination run wild. There was never really going on in that little area. Monsters don't exist, and burglars and thieves certainly aren't making a beeline for the bathroom when looking for things to steal. And, well, you are right on that last part, because what I saw was certainly no burglar. It was another night of waking up, really needing to take a piss, wrestling with the idea of staying in bed and sleeping, holding it off till morning, closing my eyes, realizing that it wouldn't work, that whole routine. I finally gave up, got out of the bed, and made my way down the hallway. I tensed my muscles, took a big, deep breath, and turned the corner. Nothing. I relaxed a little and noticed the bathroom door was closed. It may not seem odd, but we usually just have it open, especially in the summer when we don't have to worry about the heat escaping. But there were days where it was closed by accident or groggy forgetfulness, so I shrugged it off and opened the door slowly. It creaked a bit, revealing the empty bathroom. I went in, turned around to close the door, when I saw it. A figure, standing in the pitch black, blending into the darkness. It was standing with its arms hanging down loosely, its legs standing with a very slight bend. But apart from that, I couldn't tell you how it looked. It was just an outline, a featureless mass of a human. I was in shock. I couldn't move. It didn't move either. The one thing that wasn't pitch black was its eyes. They were wide open, staring straight at me. I was staring back at it, too afraid to even flinch. The staring contest went on for what felt like hours, but according to the watch I had checked later, it had only been a few minutes. The silent staring contest was broken only by a creaking sound on the roof. The figure moved slightly towards me, and I slammed the door, locked it, and slid my back down the door, keeping it shut with my body, head on my knees, hoping it would go away. I heard rustling and scraping before I was back to silence. I stayed like this in the bedroom until the sun was out, making the light I just turned in the bathroom irrelevant. I heard knocking on the door and screamed. It was just my dad wanting to use the toilet. I told my parents what had happened. They both shook it off as a bad dream I had. You might think it was poor parenting of them to not ask how I ended up in the toilet all night. It was just a dream. But I had a history of doing some crazy shit in my sleep, but that's a story for another time. Of course, I always wondered to myself if I had imagined it, or if it was really there, and if so, what it really was. What also interested me is why a noise from the roof was what startled this thing into moving. But this happened years ago. Why bring it up now? Well, last week, we decided to move. My parents bought a slightly bigger house. Not a big fancy thing or anything, still one story, pretty small, but we decided to rent this old one out. So we got an inspector over, to do a once-over of all the fixtures and fittings. There was, of course, a space between the ceiling and the roof, for all the cords, connections, and all that other crap. Of course, one thing he didn't expect to find there were 2 pillows, some blankets, and empty tins of food.